Lynn Cullen goes live in 4 minutes. Lynn Cullen goes live in 3 minutes. Lynn Cullen goes live in 2 minutes. Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Are you out there? I sure hope so. I'm here, for whatever that's worth. It's a Monday. It's the 20th of April. And it's finally getting green. Oh, man. Is that balm for one's soul or what? So, hope you're coming off a good weekend. I am not. But I need to talk about it with you, I think. because my weekend really was a disaster, and it was a direct result of something that happened in a very public way. And because in the course of my long tenure here in Pittsburgh in a public capacity, I have shared my life, my emotions, my reactions, my everything with you, because that's the only thing I know how to do. So I don't think I can move on today until I deal with what happened Friday night. And what happened Friday night was on the public television program that I that I do and that I so often, roll my eyes about, 4802. Something happened on 4802 on Friday that I'm still trying to come to terms with, and I'm struggling. It ruined my weekend. It continues to ruin it, so that I woke up at about 3:30 this morning. Bang! Awake, and bang! It started up again. The reliving what had happened on that show. I'm having trouble exorcising it. I need to talk about it. I'm sure some people would wish that I didn't, but that ain't my style. I'm just going to talk about it. Okay. For those of you who maybe missed it, I'm reluctant to tell you to look at the show if it's still up on WQED's website. They were rerunning it over the weekend, much to my astonishment, frankly. I have not looked at it. I lived it. I'm not going to look at it. Something tells me I maybe should, just so that I know that my sense of what happened is in fact what happened, because in the thick of it, it's sometimes, you don't really remember things correctly. I'm beating around the bush here. Anyone who saw it knows that what happened was the proverbial train wreck. I have done live, unrehearsed television and radio for over 35 years. I'm afraid more like 40 years, actually. 40 years. When I think of how many hours, minutes, who knows what, I've been talking and reacting, and things don't always go well when you're live. I love it. I love the danger of it. That's what I've always said. I love the danger of it. Well, that danger was apparent on Friday night. What happened? I'm still. Let me say this before I go on. I am not again ever going to do that show. I'm done. There is no way I will subject myself to the whatever that was that happened Friday night. The subject matter was a lot of economic stuff, a lot of income inequality stuff. If I'm remembering correctly, the first the first subject that we took up was an increase in the minimum wage, as there had been a number of demonstrations for a $15 minimum wage late last week. And I think we went from there on to the story that I actually talked about on this show, the young entrepreneur who decided to pay his employees all minimally $70,000 because he heard that was the sort of break-even point of when a person feels secure and emotionally secure. The cast of characters was a little different. Bill Green, who was normally there, was not there. And Valerie McDonald Roberts, who was normally there, was not there. In their stead, I'm going to blank on the woman's name who took Bill's place, but I believe she's head of the Republican Lawyers Association or something locally. Don't have that quite right. And seated on next to me in lieu of Valerie McDonald Roberts was Pittsburgh City Council President Bruce Krause. My memory is that I was not asked, I was not the first to speak. I believe Heather Heidelbaugh, who's a regular, spoke, and the other woman spoke, and maybe even Bruce spoke. And then Chris Moore, the host, came to me, and it was about the minimum wage, I think. And my memory is this. I said something like, I'm very passionate on this subject. And that got sort of a little giggle and laugh because I know everyone was thinking, yeah, what isn't she passionate about? And I said, and I'm going to try to keep myself under control. And there was another little titter, yeah. So I was just playing to the, but I had something I wanted to say. And my memory is, and of course anyone can go check this out. My memory is that I said something to the effect of, look, capitalism is triumphant. It wins. It won globally. This is the economic system. But it is an economic system. It is not a moral system, not a moral construct or something. I don't think I got much more out of my mouth when Heather Heidelbaugh just jumped. The word I think was despicable, she said. That's despicable, or you're despicable, or I don't know. And from there, guys, it went south. I was so stunned by what was coming at me. I think I was accused of being practically a communist. I think I was invited to go to Cuba. I think it was, it was the most bizarre. And I didn't know, what, you're on public television. And you're supposed to be talking about, when you're being, it was, I felt so attacked. And what are you supposed to do? I was trying to, and train wreck. Poor Bruce Krause, City Council President. Every once in a while you could hear him say, "Oh my God! Oh my God! What is going on?" He was really, please, he said, "What are you? You're totally off." He was so stunned. He was the hero. He kept trying to the way it played out, Chris Moore, the moderator, ended up actually saying, "Children." He completely, couldn't get control, and blah, blah, blah. And then at one point I said, because this got Chris upset, I said, and I don't even know what subject we were on at that point. We were off in, I don't know. It was insane. And I said, I said something to Heather and the other woman. I said, you see, your side is all, that's what I did. I said, your side. And, it turns out those are bad words. So Chris said, let's not have, or something like this, any of this your side, my side. And then he suggested that, he gets a lot of that with people saying you people, like for black people, and that this was a terrible thing to do, your side, my side. And so then I realized that I was being faulted for this train wreck as much as Heather, which frankly, the more I thought about it all weekend, pissed me off. First of all, what do you mean what's wrong with saying your side? The whole show is set up that way. There's their side, 2 Republicans, and there's my side, 2 Democrats. That's the show format. For me to say your side as if that's like some terrible divisive thing to say, when that's the whole format. So by that time, I think I ended up just pretty much, I just sat there. I ended up not, I don't know. I know that my face felt like it was burning off. I know that my heart was, you know what? I think I'm lucky, and I think QED is lucky, that I didn't stroke out. I have high blood pressure, and I think I was, when I think of how many gazillion hours I have done live TV and radio and never, ever had something happen where I felt so, and so helpless and so not, I guess I would have been, I didn't know what to do, and it was out of control. I don't ever want to do any, and then the emails. Oh my God, did I get emails? And almost all of them were support. I can't believe your head didn't explode. I can't, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. But one guy said, what a low-class display. You and Heather owe your audience and Chris an apology. And that's when I thought, you know what? Inasmuch as I had anything to do with whatever the fuck that was, I apologize. But my guess is, if a fair-minded person can bear to look at that tape, they will see that I was trying to make and was just attacked by a woman who, frankly, I thought seemed like she was coming undone. So, I've been wanting to get off that show for so long. I'm off it now. 6 o'clock this morning, I was typing my little letter. I don't think I was particularly gracious. I said, nah, no more, guys. That's it for me. Wow. And I really can't believe they kept it up. I can't believe they showed that thing again. I cannot believe it. I was angry about that, too. It was one of those things that, be better off if it was quickly pull the plug and deep six it. It certainly didn't do anything for my reputation. It certainly didn't do anything for Heather's reputation, nor for the program, nor for QED. A frigging disaster. My apology goes to Chris Moore, who is a consummate professional and gentleman. And every time I looked over at him during the show, I guess I was looking at him to help me, and he just looked like, paralyzed. And I've never seen him in that state before. It was a miserable display. I suppose in terms of a public television show, that was about as, nutty as it can get. It was, yes, caller?
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
Hey, you were right on. Heather and that Chris were dead wrong. Both of them. They were a couple idiots. Honest to God. They were wrong, and there is sides. There's a right and a left. So don't give me that bullshit. Like you say, what kind of show is it? You got Republicans and Democrats.
That's what it is.
That's ridiculous.
I couldn't even get a word. She was jumping down my throat, and the accusation. All I was trying to say was, capitalism only works if there's some restraint of it. I never got the thought out. It was like I was un-American. Yeah,
that's what they put you, like you're unpatriotic and all that crap.
Oh, my God. I'm not going to subject myself to that anymore.
No, I don't blame you.
And the fact of the matter is there it was in a nutshell. The total inability of seemingly, informed people, Heather's a bright woman, and to actually have a civil conversation. There it was. And on public television, it looked like World Wrestling Federation. It was like, Jesus, God.
You know what gets me about the Republicans with the free enterprise and capitalism? It would work if we all started at the starting line. The same starting line had the same resources. Then I might say, yeah, it might be a little fair.
Yeah.
But we don't. So that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. We all don't have the same resources, education, whatever it takes. We're born into something. In this country, it doesn't work. I'm more of a socialist, and you probably noted that when I talk about different things. I like Bernie Sanders. And I've told people, say, you're a socialist. I said, yeah, and I love it. I said, if I could, I'd live in some socialist country. I said, I'd never liked the free enterprise because I saw what it was. It was cheating, lying, and, corruption.
Yeah, well.
That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Well, I thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you. I don't know. Pete writes, and he wrote this before I even started it up. Hi, Lynn, just wondering how you maintain your sanity while sitting across from that woman. What a show that was this past Friday. Wasn't it, though? I can't believe that I managed to hit a low point like that toward the end of my career. Wow. I'm done. That might have been my last TV appearance. Thank God. Good riddance. Phil writes, I watched you and Heather, and I knew at the time that there was real, sincere discord there. As they say, I felt your pain. Soldier on. Yeah, there was, I was feeling coming at me such vitriol. And she kept taking my words and absolutely, you said capitalism wasn't immoral. I said, I did not. I said, I did not. Oh my God. After the show, we all went into the hallway, and there was an effort made by Chris Moore, the moderator, to get to first of all say that that was unacceptable and that he never wanted to see anything like that again. But the way it was presented, again, it seemed like the guilty parties were Heather and me. Well, this is where I'm not accepting that. I am not accepting that. And I think if you go to the tape, you'll see that I was attacked in this crazed manner. I still can't believe. After Bruce Krause, God bless him, said, "Come on, I'm gonna buy you a drink," and I said, "You can't buy me." He's a recovering alcoholic. He's very open about it. He doesn't go into bars, and he went into a bar for me that Friday night. God bless him. Hello.
Hey, Lynn, it's Mike from D.C.
Hi, Mike.
That anybody's still listening to the show and going to 4102 to watch it is beyond me. All I have to do not to go and watch it, but I'll watch it later.
That's true. Nobody's listening to me anymore. They're all watching. Okay.
What strikes me is, Shakespeare said, "My lady doth protest too much."
Yeah.
So you clearly must have hit a chord with the truth. Because if it wasn't the truth, if you called her German and she was Irish, she's like, yeah, no, I'm not German, I'm Irish. It wouldn't have escalated. It only escalated because there is truth to your statement.
I don't know. I wondered that too. I thought, did I touch something that was too... I don't know. I mean, we all have...
How do people... I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was just going to say, I mean, we all have bad days. Clearly, I wondered all weekend as I just sat there freaking out all weekend. I couldn't get it out of my head. I wonder if Heather was having any difficulty with what had happened, and I couldn't imagine she wasn't. But I don't know. Wow.
I'm curious on how do people justify the moral ambiguity of the fact that when you go to Wendy's or Walmart or whatever, you are benefiting off of people's lower wages. Like somebody's benefiting, and it isn't
right.
It isn't even a corporation. It's
right.
I'm not the persecution, but I can't think of the word. I'm benefiting from someone else having less.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how do you wrap your brain around that?
Yeah.
That these people who are waiting on you don't deserve $15 an hour because I don't want to pay 20 more cents for a Big Mac. How do you wrap your brain around not caring about somebody else who can't live on a 40-hour work week?
Yeah. I mean, it's totally different. They just don't see that as the issue. The issue is the marketplace, and the marketplace sets these wages, and I guess whatever happens, I don't know. I don't get it, obviously. But
isn't part of the marketplace a union?
Not anymore.
Because that's us binding together to say, no, we won't do this. How more American is that in the marketplace?
I said, there used to be sort of a sense of a contract between labor and management, that it's a symbiotic relationship. The capitalists can't get anything done if they don't have workers, and they seemingly never want to acknowledge that. But I also remember saying that, I mean, what I've said on this show, that if you allow corporations to not pay their people a living wage, and then the government, the taxpayers, step in and provide the difference in the form of food stamps and other welfare programs, how is that not corporate welfare? How is that not? We're making Walmart rich because we're subsidizing their workers? This is insanity.
Interesting that they focus on that. They focus on the workers. The poor people shouldn't get food stamps. They focus on that, and not that Walmart should pay their employees enough
a living
we don't
wage.
have to give them food stamps. Yeah,
I know. Well, the thing that was on display there, too, was the just unbelievable divide that exists in this country, but also the inability to even listen to each other, obviously. I don't want to be part of any of it anymore. I just can't. Don't. It's done. Finished. That was it for me.
I often just turn it. I have the luxury because I'm watching. I can just turn it off when it bothers me. You can't. You're stuck there with a camera in your face.
Well, I'm not anymore.
Good for you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye. And I thought, don't do it. Don't bow out, because then what? She wins, then your voice doesn't get heard, then, who's going to talk for... It's not I can't do it anymore. Because, as I said, I could have stroked out. I think I could have. All right, Chuck actually watched. Oh, my God. I saw Friday's 4802. It was the best and worst of the weekend TV offerings. Right, yeah, like a train wreck. It was like, whoa, you can't believe it when you're... I'm sure some people watching that were like... In that regard, it was probably the best 4802 ever. I mean, in terms of, man, there was a lot of action. Okay, and Chuck says, I had these thoughts as I watched. Okay. When you send two liberals into the arena against two conservatives like that, sometimes you will have fighting. I'm surprised we haven't seen more fighting on this level in the past. Isn't that what QED wants? No. QED is public television. And they are risk averse to a fault. So I always thought it was interesting that they allowed things to get as hot as they sometimes did, because no, they don't want to make any enemies. They're risk averse. It'll be interesting to see if they keep that show going. My advice to them, get rid of it. If you don't want the your side, my side elements, Chuck writes, to the conversation, then don't set up the panel with, sides. That's why, the more I thought about it, I can't believe they jumped on me for saying your side when it's their format. You can't acknowledge the reality? I don't know. I've never been so humiliated in my life, really, in a live broadcast situation. I have never felt more helpless and vulnerable and left hanging. I have never, and I'm no shrinking. I literally felt like I'd been ambushed. Chuck continues, it reminded me of the knockdown, drag-out clashes that you and Jerry Boyer used to have in those talkathons all those many years ago. Yeah, that wasn't fun either. I felt that Chris Moore, the moderator, could have done more to better orchestrate the conversation. He threw up his hands, and I don't know, I don't blame him. But I wish he had, I could have used a little support. But he has to be the in-between guy. Oh, we've got a call. Hello? Hello, caller?
Hey, Lynn.
Hi.
I watched you Friday live.
You did?
And I will tell you something. This is why I don't watch any of those shows anymore. My level of discomfort is usually not worth it. And I actually thought, oh, no, what if Lynn quits?
Oh, well.
But here's why. And I thought, that woman is difficult. I'm on your side, so I try to keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
But she's hard to work with. And I've been watching this for years. And then when you said you were going to quit this morning, I thought, you know what? Why not? That's why I don't watch, because I don't like the stress level and the confrontation.
Yeah, and it's gotten, you know what? Year after year, it has ratcheted up. It is.
Yeah.
There's been, used to be, there's just this, you know what? It's emblematic of where we are. It's like people really don't even like each other anymore, right? There's not even a pretense of civility.
But I will say this as a testament to you. I'm not stroking you. I've listened to you for decades, my dear. You do come from a successful family. Like, you've had gifts. You have, like you said, your family owned a business.
Yes.
What is the difference between people that can still sympathize with those who don't have all that?
I don't know.
You know, I was sent to college. I had all the benefits, too. But yet there's some empathy for those who didn't have what I had.
Well, I credit my father and my mother. I mean, those were the values they taught me.
And it's social responsibility.
My father preached literally every dinner about the importance of community and of finding common ground and of helping people. He was the most empathetic soul, and that's what he gave me.
But I think that's what's missing, and see, that's what we're up against. This other side, it quotes, they really don't have that, and they never will. So that's why I'm wondering why the discourse is even worth it.
I don't know.
You know, it's not worth it. Because I didn't want you to quit, because I'm the type of person
I'm
that
sorry.
says, I'm not letting them make me quit.
I know that's what I was wrestling with all week. But this morning when I woke up at 3:30, I thought, you know what? This is not good for you. Sorry, you don't have to carry the banner anymore.
Exactly.
I have carried the banner.
Quality of life, peace of mind.
I've carried the banner in this town
and in your rest of your life.
Yeah.
And not responsible. And the rest
Done.
of us have to. And the only thing I'll say in Chris's defense is he's on your side.
I know.
I listen to him, on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I understood kind of what he meant, like the you people. But it's very clear, even in his moderation, that what side he's on.
Yeah.
He tried. So I'll stick up for him a little bit. But
Oh,
I'll be
no, I
honest with
totally.
you.
I think he does.
To watch distasteful people week after week, I don't know how any of you did it. I love Bill Green because there's professionalism there.
Yeah.
But the sniping, and sometimes I call it plain hate.
You
they
know
don't
what?
care if the rest of us die.
And the other
it's
thing.
an elitism, and you're never going to win.
Yeah.
So I say, hey, put your feet up and stay home on Friday night. Have a glass of wine.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Thank you so much.
There you
God
go.
bless
Thanks,
you.
Lynn.
Thank you. Bye. That's it. And the fact that it was two women at each other like that makes me just cringe. Just cringe. God. It's going to take me a while to get over this. It really is. I was talking to my mother. God, you believe how lucky I am. I still, in my dotage, I'm an old lady. I could call my mom. Mom! And I told her what happened, and I talked to her on Saturday about it, and then she called me yesterday morning, and because she now was trouble. So she said, I've been thinking. She said, it'll go away. It seems like a big thing now, but it's so sweet. So my poor 93-year-old mother was dealing with the fallout from this crap. All right, Noreen. It seems like Heather had more of an agenda. Even though she always has strong opinions, she at least gave the other side a chance to speak. Yeah, I don't know what it was with her. She wouldn't let me get I never got more than 6 words out of my mouth before she was just stopping me. And then mischaracterizing the 6 words I'd said. What am I supposed to do in a case like that? What do you do? Maybe she has higher aspirations and thinks this type of rhetoric is what's necessary to get the attention of those who would support her. Just saying. Well, she definitely has higher aspirations. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what her aspiration is. She's looking at the Attorney General. She's looking at Kathleen Kane's job. And I'll tell you what happened Friday night. ain't going to help her one bit. If we got a crazy lady in Kathleen Kane, it's not like Heather is looking like there'd be much of a change with that. She hurt herself. Heather hurt herself Friday night. Henry writes the show is taped, right? No. That's a live show. It's done live. Whatever happens, happens. So it was such a train wreck, and if Chris Moore said the behavior was unacceptable, then why did they even air the show at all? No, it was live, Henry. It's live. Your question, though, is why did they repeat the show? I don't know how many times it repeated, but I know it was on at 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Because I looked at I looked and I thought, please don't let it be early, and there it was, 2. And it's still, as far as I know, it's up on their website. If I keep this up, I bet they're going to take it down. They need to take it down. It ain't doing them any favors, and it ain't doing anyone associated with it any favors. Get it while you can if you're curious. Here's Chris. I couldn't believe what I saw on Friday night. I said from the beginning, Heather was in a bad mood and lashing out from the get-go. I felt so bad for you. You were attacked. She never let up throughout the whole show. Do you think she would reach out to you and apologize? She should at least do that. I don't even want her to. I don't want her to. I'm done. I'm so sad you're not going to do the show anymore. That was the only reason I watched. Since you're not on, I won't be watching anymore. Well, fine. Well, we'll all just get our Friday nights back, you know? Seriously. Seriously. Here's Lynn from North Huntington. Lynn, your memory and perception are correct. I kept telling my husband that Heather must be going through menopause. There was no reason for her to blow up like that. I saw this coming for the past few weeks. I agree. There's been something, right. Could just sort of feel it and then kaplooey. Yeah. I don't blame you for leaving. Chris calling all of you children was uncalled for when it was clearly Heather who needed to be singled out. But of course he wouldn't and couldn't do that. So I got thrown under the bus too. I am a very unhappy person. Dorothea writes, Lynn, I saw 4802 over the weekend. My frustration is with Heather simply towing the party line. Nothing raises my blood pressure more than someone becoming a ditto head for their party and refusing to think. You can't argue with these types of people. These types? What do you mean by these types? Oh, I'm sorry. That's sort of what they said to me when I said you. Your side. All right. Melanie writes, my personal point of thinking about how unfair things are came in this week's Post-Gazette. The article about Mount Lebanon's new spectacular high school. And then the poor kids from Wilkinsburg who no other school district will even take in. Melanie, I noted it too. There was this piece about Mount Lebanon's high school. Oh my God. The airy atria. The beautiful blue walls, the this, the that. The dance studios. The blah, 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 blah. And then there was this article about the kids in Wilkinsburg who have a high school that's barely functioning. And how the folks from Wilkinsburg have asked Penn Hills, and they've asked other districts nearby, could you take our kids? We'll pay their tuition. Please take our kids. No. Fuck them. How many miles between Wilkinsburg and Mount Lebanon? And how come all those kids in Wilkinsburg are more valued? What an ugly reality we got. Marcy writes, I was humiliated for you. Yeah, thank you. The show is a two-sided show, liberals and conservatives. My mouth was hanging open when Heather said, you're despicable, or that's despicable. My blood pressure was up just watching. And so they would not let you finish a sentence. I couldn't believe she attacked you like that. To me, Heather and the other lady acted like all Republicans act. Okay, well, here, you were the only reason I watched the show. I will not be watching anymore. Look, it's no great loss. Wow. Ray writes, Lynn, you have to remember that when you dare to point out that greed is at the heart of capitalism and that greed is immoral, you are not making an intellectual argument to them. You are attacking their faith. You know what, Ray? As usual, you hit it on the head. That is correct. And Heather did say to me after the show, I feel like you are saying I'm evil. You guys are always the good guys. And when you talk to, we're the evil people. And I said to her, I said, I didn't call you evil, and there's nothing I can, that's not me. That's her problem, not my problem. But Ray, you're absolutely right. What she heard when I said capitalism is an economic system, it is not a moral system. I didn't say it was immoral. I was saying it was not a moral construct. But she couldn't hear it. The minute she heard moral, she heard me telling her, you are immoral. That, I think without a doubt, is what made her go kaplooey. But she never regained her... It just went down from there. I couldn't... I never felt so helpless in my life. But Ray, you're right. If I point out that greed is at the heart of capitalism, which it is, and that greed is immoral, you are not making an intellectual argument. You are attacking their faith. I have always wondered at the ability of these people, so you're not allowed to say those words anymore. Can't say you. It's divisive. I have always wondered the ability of these people to live in the dichotomy of Judeo-Christian principles and capitalistic practices. It is. You would think it would, a lot of cognitive dissonance going on there. Rather than even entertain the idea. Well, okay. Ray, you're being interrupted. Hello?
Hello.
Clarence.
Yes. Ray beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm arguing with people, and I'll be talking about something like capitalism. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the idea in your head. You are not capitalism. and for some reason, people can't get that, an idea is not you. You can change your idea. But it's like I said, I'm not attacking you personally. I'm attacking your idea.
Right.
I think I even said this on your show, that I like to tell people, think of it as like, those cartoon clouds over your head, with
right,
cartoons.
Exactly.
Those two things are arguing.
Right.
Me and you, we're just like a couple of people sitting here having, a brunch or something. And I can't get people to separate those things. I said, I don't like, it's not that I dislike you. I'm not calling you evil. I'm not calling you greedy. I'm not calling you immoral, but your ideas are. That's an immoral idea.
And that's what I do think that. And you know what? Poor Bruce Krause kept saying, hey, look, we're just, that's her idea when we were out in the hall. That's just her idea. And then there's your idea. It's not, he was so stunned by what happened.
Yeah. And I found, I guess Like people like hold on to their ideas, and it's like personally, and that's something I can't relate to. And I think that's literally a difference between the brain makeup of conservatives and liberals, that we can't get into their brains to understand that, and they can't get to our brains and understand us. Unless we have some kind of Vulcan mind meld or something.
Right.
Yeah. And it's very difficult to communicate that, especially when people get riled up. When the emotions get involved, it's really, really difficult to try to get people to even attempt to empathize.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, I just, God, I really needed, thank you all for letting me vent like this, because I have just been as low as a person can be ever since.
What's really interesting is, of course, your fans and people who listen to you are going to take your side.
Yes.
I haven't watched it. I'm not going to.
Oh, God bless you.
I don't need to see it because I understand the emotions and everything involved just by you describing it.
Yeah.
Because I'll get too emotional, so I'll just avoid it.
It's pretty ugly. There's no. It is. It's ugly. It's ugly.
Although the Freud Jung side of me wants to go and analyze the woman. Because what's her name again? I'm sorry.
Heather.
Yeah, because I see that, and what one of your earlier callers was trying to tell, how like those people, when you say that they're greedy, this, that, and the other thing, and I'm starting to see more of this coming from, in quotes, the white population, because they have this fear of loss of something they think they're entitled to.
Yeah. Right.
And of course, fear is very, very strong. And I just keep seeing more and more. And I saw, with that $15 an hour, people like, I think Blaze, whoever, that guy who runs that thing, I saw that article 4 times on my Facebook page, and I said, well, who are you to say who deserves to make what? The word deserve, they don't deserve $15
Yeah, can you imagine?
an hour.
Can you imagine?
I said, everybody thinks they deserve more than what they, including anybody who's posting this.
Yeah.
But who are you to say that they deserve? And I just stopped. I said, who are you? Why do you think that they don't deserve? And I put it in big capital letters and quotation marks. Who are you to think?
But why do you even bother?
Huh?
Why do you even bother engaging?
I haven't been doing. I'm not on TV. I'm not exposed. Publicly, except for on your show.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Blovius advocate, because he said the same thing to me. I said, because the third party. It's all about the third party. The people who are reading it. If I didn't respond with another point of view, people who read it would say, yeah, why do they deserve $15 an hour? Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And did I always...
Well,
huh?
I appreciate it then. Yeah, my sister does the same thing. She's out there talking back to these people. But I... and I mean, obviously, that's what I've been doing. But I guess I'm tired. I've had it.
Yeah,
I can't do it anymore.
You're Lynn Cullen. You have to do it every day for an hour. Oh, it was an hour a day. Then you have to go and do this. And you've been doing it for how long? 35 years?
40 years.
40 years. Nobody's ever been in a coal mine for 40 years. Nobody does that kind of job for 40 years. Who does something for 40 years? That's strenuous. You know what I mean? It's stressful.
Yeah, it is. And I can't take it anymore, so that's it.
Well, you birthed some mouths. Because I finally got Tom Kovacs on on Facebook, and we're dogging the heck out of people. So now I got some backup.
Okay, well, good. You keep up the good fight there, Clarence.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
You. Bye.
Okay, Ray, I'm going to try to finish your thing. Rather than even entertain the idea that they are acting immorally, they will burn you at the stake. An attack on a person's faith will usually receive an emotional reaction. And you're right, their faith is capitalism. You're right. And I forgot. Ray writes, I will listen to Chris's radio program on Sundays. The lunatics that he puts up with during that show. I can't imagine. He's a tougher cookie than me. You know right from wrong, Ray writes. You know proper from improper. They do not. You are right to shake the dust of that place from your sandals. Oh, God. Ray. Oh, thank you. David writes, I saw the show, and it looks to me that Heather hooked onto a deliberate misread, yes, she did, of what you said. She assumed that your assertion that capitalism was not a moral system was that I said capitalism is an immoral system. She's smart enough to know the difference, but she stuck to it anyway in order to suck up all the time in the 30-minute show. She should be ashamed. Well, I don't know. I think she should too. I am, for having been a part of that. This is Jane writing, believe it or not, the fiscal conservative Republicans in Mount Lebanon were against the renovation of that high school, most likely because they didn't want to foot the millage increases. Well, sure. But the new progressive Democrats who have descended on Mount Lebanon and now are the majority were the strongest pushers for the new school. They want nothing but the best for their children and are willing to pay at any price. In my opinion, they're all selfish. I agree. We have got a caller. Hi. Hello.
Good morning, Lynn. It's Dave from Washington.
Dave, hi.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm sure you're probably in the middle of something.
No.
Somehow or another, in the past 20, 30 years or so, Jesus has turned into a venture capitalist. And, I mean, I'm dead serious about that. You give them the line about, it's easier for a rich man to enter the gates of, that whole thing. Well, that's bullshit. They don't believe that anymore.
No, I know.
And they've got some lame excuse for why it's been misinterpreted and stuff like that. My sister said, and my sister's a big holy roller. She's so far to the right that family's almost ostracized her. But as long as you tithe and give, the church its cut, wealth is a wonderful thing, despite the fact that it's supposed to prevent you from entering the gates of heaven. But as long as they get their cut, it's all a good thing.
Okay. Well,
how they've misconstrued this, and it sounds like this. I'm going to watch the show when you're done here, but I got to listen to you first. It sounds like she was waiting for you. You said you were ambushed. I think maybe you were. I think she knew who you were and was just waiting for you to say something so she could jump on you. And rather than her being embarrassed by this, I would be surprised if she doesn't put it on an ad and say, look, I'll go after these bastard liberals.
No, I think even her side would say you didn't do us any favors. I mean, that's it was that bad.
The more outrageous and hyperbolic they are, that almost does seem to be like a game with them. Who can come up with the most outrageous statement about any liberal? Obama, and I have people come into my office and tell me this because I work for the state, and Obama is bringing in ISIS people with Ebola over the Mexican border.
Do you know? You're not kidding. I mean, I saw this thing that at the NRA, there's an NRA convention, I guess, going on this week. One of the speakers was saying something like that. I mean, it was just, he was saying that there are cities in the United States now that have become like, you can't go there because they're like essentially ISIS controlled, and that they're coming. And the NRA, think of how powerful they are in our politics, and they have speakers flat out confabulizing like that. We're doomed.
No, we are. And it's a game with them. The more outrageous you are, that means the more you hate Obama, which means the stronger of a president you're going to be in crushing all vestiges of liberalism in the country. And a lot of people will vote for you for that reason alone.
Wow.
We are doomed. We are so screwed. Tune in, turn on, and drop out. It's 4:20. You know what to do today, right?
Yes, sir.
I used to care, but things have changed, as Bob Dylan said. You have a great day. Don't let what happened on Friday bum you out, Lynn. You're still our favorite.
Thank you, David.
All righty.
Bye. I have been letting it. I'm trying. This is a group exorcism, and I appreciate your help. It's going to take me a while. It really is. If Bruce Krause had not taken care of me for an hour or so after, I really don't know what. God, what a knight in shining armor was he. Oh. Dawn writes, I watched 4802 as I always do on most Friday evenings. I have watched Heather's resentment for you build and build, show after show. She was seething and on attack mode for you Friday night. She knew exactly what she was going to do and had already rehearsed it. Nah, I don't think. You did not get a full opinion out before she threw out her personal contempt. I saw Chris Moore trying to help you without taking sides in the most professional manner that he could, but I agree it could have been handled much better. I was outdone that she took her personal insecurity and expressed herself in such a low-blow manner. It's unfortunate that you are resigning from the show, but I knew and felt this was coming. You've come too far to try to make sense out of nonsense. Stand tall and remain unapologetic. Dawn, thank you. No, I'm done. Done. I wish I felt better about it, but maybe that will come with some distance and time. Oh, my God. So that's what we did today? We didn't do anything else? Oh, man. Okay. You know, the other thing, my mother, my sweet mom was saying, it'll just disappear. And I said, you know what, Mom? It doesn't anymore. When I was in television as a reporter, and I would be beside myself because whatever story I'd done that night was not up to snuff, I felt, I would always be, oh, God, it was horrible. And the news director at the time, and now a dear friend of mine, Joe Rubito, would say to me, just relax. It's video vapor. And he was saying, your little story that it's went out and it's now heading off into the ionosphere. It's vapor. It just disappears. Now, that was in the 80s. And it's pretty much true it did. But it doesn't anymore. Nothing disappears. Nothing disappears. So that horror, that humiliation, that mortification, that stinking dump is going to be there forever, ever, and ever. There's no vapor anymore. It all turns to stone. Hey. Well, guys, that was fun. Now, tomorrow I guess my sister will be in, and we'll try to get back on track. I don't know. I'm gonna I don't know. Thank you. God, I love you guys. Thank you. What would I do without you? Have a great day. Go Pens. Go Bucks. Hey, nice sweep this weekend, huh? And Ray, I got to let you know, I'm going to the game on Thursday. If you want, I'll let you know where I'll be. Okay? Toodle oodles. Mwah.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.